Welcome, friend, to the Christ Consciousness Activation. It is Christmas 2025 right now. People are celebrating all over the world. And they're celebrating the birth of Christ. But what they're actually celebrating is the birth of Christ consciousness. Christ came to this planet to show us a new way of being, a new way of living, a new knowing that ascension is not only possible, but it is inherent in your divine plan, in the divine plan, in your body's divine plan, in your soul's divine plan. That it's possible. And he gave us a template, he gave us an example of how to get there, of how to do it. He shared teachings that helped uplift the entire planet. Now, most of this knowledge was already available in the East, but it was just kind of localized there. There were little pockets of different tribes that had enlightenment teachings, enlightenment experiences over the world, but what Christ did is he created this infusion of enlightenment consciousness or Christ consciousness through the entire planetary grid so that energy could spread to the entire planet, so the knowledge of ascension could come to the entire planet. How amazing is that? And it spread quickly. And really, his biggest teaching was oneness. I don't know that he ever put it in that word, but it's two biggest things. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, and do unto others as you would have done unto you. But I think those were both mistranslated. Just a little bit. I think it was love others. When you love others, you're loving yourself because all is one. When you're doing something to others, you're doing it to yourself because all is one. And that's really what Christ consciousness is seeing everything the way infinite consciousness sees it, as oneness, experiencing everything the way as infinite consciousness experiences it, as oneness, as infinite oneness. Just breathe that in for a moment. Yeah. And until it becomes natural for you, it's something that you have to remind yourself of. Oh, that person's me. Oh, that person's me. Oh, that thing is me. Look around the room you're in right now. You see all these different objects. You see shelves, walls, curtains, the device you're watching this on. You see all these different things, but it's all oneness. It's all one. It's all actually you as the infinite. The awesome thing about the infinite is that its natural state is infinite love. So if you are the infinite and everything else is the infinite, except there's no else because it's just everything and that includes you, it's all infinite love. So just tune into that and feel that. Open up to receiving the love, the infinite love that everything is. Never where you're not willing to receive the infinite love that everything is. Be rich. Ah. Virtual reset. Ah. Be rich is the clearing tool we use in infinite miracle healing. I'm not going to go over it today. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to my website, makaimiracle.com/erich. That link will be in the description. Just know that we use erich to clear limiting beliefs and heavy, dense, stuck, painful emotions like that. Then we run virtual reset to reset all of reality. So reality stops creating itself from everything you cleared and released with erich. It starts creating itself from everything you integrated and harmonized with erich. So change happens really, 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 really fast. You are infinite love. Everything is infinite love. It's just a field of infinite love that vibrates all the time. And if you allow yourself to be aware of it, experience it, it is thick, it is powerful, it is everything, everywhere, all all pervading. They use the word omnipresent in the Christian teachings, which means everywhere, all the time, all at once. All pervading. It's just infinite love. Just breathe with that. Make sure to breathe it into every part of your body and being. Noticing tension, breathe it into that too. Yeah. This is your natural state. Infinite love, infinite love, infinite love, infinite love. Ah. And when you're being infinite love, your entire reality becomes infinite love. We know from the law of vibration that whatever you vibrate becomes your reality. So if you become the vibration of infinite love, you vibrate infinite love, your entire reality becomes infinite love. And that's the key. In total presence as infinite love, that's what 5D is. 5D is the realm of infinite love and infinite now. When you are in a state of infinite love and total presence, being totally present in the moment, you're in 5D and you have access to super gifts and abilities beyond anything you ever imagined possible. And you've experienced these to a degree. Maybe they're instantaneous healing. Maybe it has to do with time, changing time, speeding up time, slowing down time. Maybe you've had some other crazy magical experiences. You've experienced this, and that actually is your natural state. Everywhere that you forget that that's your natural state, you're rich. Ah. Everything that doesn't allow you to be that, you're rich. Um, just take a deep breath in and hold it for a moment. Notice what you're experiencing. Do that two more times. Once more. Yeah. And if you give that feeling a word or two, what would it be? Put that down below. Let me know how you're feeling. So when you're being infinite love in a strong vibration, holding that vibration, maintaining that vibration, not dimming your light to make other people feel more comfortable, just being strong, bright vibration of infinite love, infinite light, your natural state. It starts a chain reaction because anybody you touch, anybody you come across and walk by, they get infused with that vibration of infinite love. And as you maintain the vibration of infinite love, they either have to raise their vibration and entrain to that infinite love, or they have to go away. Literally, that's the only two options. Because that's how the law of vibration works. So, one thing you can do is when you go out in the world, you start being this big, beautiful, bright vibration of your love. You start having interactions with someone or an experience with something, exchange with someone, and you feel yourself like contracting, getting smaller, uh, coming out of the vibration of infinite love, don't. Just be aware of it. First off, don't resist it. So everywhere you're resisting that, you're rich. Or you're afraid the infinite love is going to go away, you're rich. Virtual reset. Just clear it out. Something like this. Everything that makes me be affected by this person, rich. Everything that makes me be affected by this situation, rich. Virtual reset. Everywhere I'm resisting this person, rich. Everywhere I'm resisting this situation, rich. Because part of staying in total presence is being in the flow, like water. Water wants to flow infinitely like a river. And flow includes zero resistance. Water doesn't resist anything. It can't. It's not part of its natural properties. It's not part of its natural state. You too are an infinite being and in an infinite flow, and your resistance creates the stress, trauma, and drama and struggle that you experience in your life. So everywhere you're resisting things and experiencing stress, trauma, drama, and struggle, everything that makes you do that, everything that makes you think you have to do that, and everywhere you think that's a natural way to be, you're rich. Ah. Virtual reset. It's not the natural way to be. Flow is the natural way to be. That's your natural state. Flow like water. And that means not resist anything. You see something? Cool. You see something else? Cool. You see something else? Cool. It doesn't mean you don't do anything. It doesn't mean you don't take action. It doesn't mean you don't ask for what you want. It doesn't mean you don't state what you want or desire. It just means you flow with everything. You're not attached to any outcome. You're not making anything significant. You're just going with the flow. Still directing your life. Directing is the masculine part. That's, manifestation practices, intentions. That's your directing. And then the flow is the feminine part. Flow is the feminine. And so anytime you feel yourself getting frustrated or angry or resisting a situation or resisting a person, just ask this question. How can I flow with this? Ah, and instantly, the energy comes in a flow, and the awarenesses come in a flow. You're driving down the road. This is driving. And you're on the freeway, and then you see a bunch of cars stopped, and there's traffic jam, and you're just stuck there. And maybe you have someplace you need to be at a certain time, maybe you don't. You have options. You can get frustrated and angry and start beating the steering wheel and shaking it. Or you can not. You can flow with it. Cool. You asked the question, how can I flow with this? Okay, cool. We're in traffic. Uh, Getting angry about it's not going to change the traffic. So I might as well not do that. That doesn't sound very fun anyways. How can I flow with this? How can I have even more fun in this moment? I mean, personally, that means I crank up the radio and I start singing at the top of my lungs. I just start jamming out and grooving. Like, cool, this is an extra time to listen to music in my car. I love listening to music in my car. I can turn it loud, I can feel it vibrating, I can sing with it loud, not worry about what anybody else thinks or if I'm bothering anybody by my singing. Just flow with it. Enjoy it. I want you to apply that to every area of your life. If something doesn't happen at the time that you thought it was supposed to happen, like maybe you're going to go to an event or you have some sort of business thing, but some other external circumstance made it impossible for those things to happen, or at least really, really, really hard for those things to happen at the time that you thought they were going to happen. You can resist it and try to force it. What do you mean? How can I flow with this? Okay, cool. We'll do it next week. You can use it with your body too. If you're feeling sick or you're feeling pain, how can I flow with this? Those things are just there as an awareness of where you're out of alignment with infinite consciousness, infinite source, and the earth. So you just flow with it, receive the awarenesses, and then it's a lot easier to shift. If you're resisting it or fighting against it, that just makes it worse. Flow with it. You can relax, let the illness or the pain just kind of melt out of your body. It's a part of Christ consciousness and infinite love and flowing is non-judgment. And what is judgment? Well, judgment is simply a belief coupled with an emotional charge, which really makes conclusion, period. You can't flow past the period. It's a stop. Period's a stop. That's not flow. I want to remove the period. Let go of the belief in the emotional charge because that's not how infinite works on the infinite level. It's not the ascended level of being. That's the old human way of being. Where you're trying to create a story about everything, put everything in a box, make it solid. Energy's flowing infinitely like a river all the time. All of infinite consciousness. You can't really make anything solid. You can create containers to hold energy. You can't make anything solid, and that's what a judgment tries to do, is it tries to make it solid. This person acts this way, so they're always going to act that way, and I can expect that. That house across the street is yellow. I can expect that. Probably don't have too much of an emotional charge around that. But that's the point. It's like you want to move away from judgment and story to awareness. Awareness is a lot lighter. Awareness is like this. You can see right now, my walls are white. The awareness is, oh, my walls are white. It's not like my walls are white and they have to stay white and they're going to be white forever. It's just like, it's very light. My walls are white. Cool. There's clouds outside. Doesn't mean that there's always going to be clouds outside. That's always shifting and changing too. But I have the awareness right now, cloudy outside. And even the things that you think are the worst things that a human can do, those judgments are not serving you. They're actually just locking that stuff into place because, again, what you vibrate becomes your reality. And you think, and we've been taught in this reality that if, you know, you have to judge those things, you have to judge them and decide they're wrong and try to, you know, for whatever reason, so you don't have to be a part of them, so they don't affect your life, so you can make other people stop doing those things. But that's not what judgment does at all. It does the opposite. It locks those things into place. Instead of judging those things, locking them into place. Clear out the judgments. Let's just do that. Everything you've judged and decided is bad, wrong, mean, awful, vicious, or deserves to get you put in jail or killed, or at least outcasted or shunned from society. You're rich. Or you're done in all those things in all lifetimes realities, including this one. You're rich. Virtual reset. You want to be neutral about those things. And that doesn't mean you have to choose them. It just means they pass right through you and they don't affect you. And you get to choose your vibration. Because when you're judging something, you're actively resisting it. That creates blockage in your energy field. I mean, it first creates a blockage in your mental emotional bodies, then it creates a blockage in your energy field, then it steps down to your physical body as tension, disease, misalignment, and or pain. So when we clear those judgments, clears the blockage from the mental emotional level, which then clears from the energy level, which then allows the body to open up and flow and be in its natural state, which is infinite health. But society says you have to judge those things so they're not a part of your life. Well, do you? If you judge war as bad and wrong, and all the people that are doing war or creating war as bad and wrong, you're creating resistance, you're creating tension, and you're vibrating that. And it's in your field. So everywhere you've done that, everything you decide about war and the people who are doing war and the people who are creating war, people benefit from war and that are profiting from war and keep war happening, you're rich. Virtual reset. Be neutral about it. You can stay in a state of infinite love. So instead of judging to create your reality, you want to manifest and vibrate to create your reality. Infinite love is my reality. That's the place where you want to be. And you keep focusing on that and keep focusing on that and keep focusing on that. I don't watch the news. I don't really get involved with governmental stuff anymore. Used to. Used to be passionate about it, fired up. But it's not, focus is your vibration. You're an infinite being. You are everyone and everything. Everything you see in the outside world is a reflection of your inner world. And that doesn't mean you don't help create positive change in the world. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that your reality shows up based on your vibration. Think about back to a time before computers, before the internet, before computers, before TV, before radio, uh, even before newspapers. What was your reality? You may have gotten a little bit of word of mouth information from somebody about a government or a king or queen, but you weren't being bombarded by it 24/7 all day in some sort of media. So you weren't thinking about it. It wasn't really affecting your reality that much. What was affecting your reality? Your vibration. The people in your community, the weather, which again is all an expression of your vibration. And so I don't watch the news. I may see a little bit of it through social media once in a while, but I don't focus on it and I stay neutral about it. If you are going to watch news, here's what I recommend. Every time you feel yourself getting triggered or feel anything less than infinite bliss, e-rich it. Everything that's coming up for me right now about this, e-rich. Virtual reset. Everything that's coming up for me about this now, e-rich. Virtual reset. And keep doing that until you can be watch the news and be completely neutral about it. I used to do that as a practice to get to the place of neutrality. Point is that society's conditioned us to think that that's important, to think that that's reality, when really it's not. Your reality is, what are you experiencing right now? Well, cool. I'm looking around my room. It's nice and warm in here. White walls make me feel calm, comfortable. See light coming in from the outside. See the video on the computer. That's reality. What you're experiencing in the present moment. And the thing is, you're an infinite being, so you have infinite awareness. And if you allow yourself to be present, you'll always be aware of what you need to know to stay in the infinitely expanding vibration, infinitely expanding the infinite path of infinite bliss. You'll know what you need to know. There's something that's happening in the outside world that you need to know about it. You'll know. Maybe you won't consciously know, but maybe you'll be like, hey, your intuition's like, I should go outside right now. And somebody walks down the street and says, hey, did you hear that this thing's happening in the world right now? Cool. That's being in the flow. That's being in the present moment. Trusting that you're an infinite being, trusting in infinite awareness. Everything that would allow that, be rich. Ritual reset. You're like, Mikhail, but this, but that, but I have to listen to the news to make sure that if it's snowing that I don't send my kids to school that day if school's closed. Cool. I'm not saying don't do the things that make your practical life easier. I'm saying be neutral about all of it. Choose the things that are going to help you stay in the vibration of infinite love in the present moment. When you're in the present moment, you don't need to plan. You just flow and you just know. That's what being in 5D is all about. You just know exactly where to go, where to be, who to talk to, what to say, what to create in every moment. Because you're just allowing your infinite awareness to guide you and keep you in this state of flow. That's your natural state. You can't have thoughts and be in 5D. They're too dense. You can have awarenesses. Just breathe with that for a moment. Everywhere you've decided that's not possible, you think you can't do that, and all the reasons and evidence you have for not being able to do that. You think it's really hard, it takes a long time, you have to meditate for 30 years before you can do that in a cave. You're rich. What are you noticing? Just take a deep breath. Anywhere, anything that I've talked about, it's made you scared, uneasy, anxious, you're rich. Rich reset. There's this experience of expansion. You're expanding into a vibration that's bigger than what you've previously experienced. It can feel intense. And that intensity, if you try to identify it, symptoms could show up like fear. And if you decide, oh, this is fear right now, I need to run away or fight it, then you might do that. But if you look at it as excitement, because excitement and fear produce almost the same physiological response in your body. It's just kind of how you look at it that determines the quality of that physiological response. So if you look at excitement, you can be like, okay, wow, I'm excited. This is really intense right now. It feels really weird, but I know that everything I've been asking for is right on the other side of this intense feeling. And I can just be in a greater state of infinite love, or in the state of infinite love. It's kind of like if you jump into a lake. Most of the time it's cold at first. And you have two choices at that point. You're like, oh, this is cold. And you get out. Or you can just swim around a little bit, breathe with it, and allow your body to become used to that vibration. Temperature is also a vibration. You become used to the vibration, then you get to go and play in the water, experience the fullness of that vibration. It's the same when you're expanding into a new level of energy vibration. You can be like, oh no, this feels a little too intense, and run away. And you're like, okay, cool, this is intense. I'm just gonna breathe through it and keep going and keep expanding into this new vibration. And at some point, it's going to become my natural state. So everything that would allow that for you, you're rich. Virtual reset. infinite love, infinite flow, infinite presence, infinite awareness. Those are your natural states. So everything that would allow you to be all of that. You're rich. Beautiful. Let's get into the activation. In Christ consciousness is the state of being infinite consciousness, being infinite oneness, experiencing, seeing, and knowing everything is one, experiencing and being the field of infinite love, which inherently raises the vibration of everyone and everything. So, what I'd like you to do is get comfortable. Either lay back in your chair or lay down as long as you can hear me. What I'd like you to do is just take a couple deep breaths, really sink into wherever you're at. And what I'd like you to do is become aware of the energy that surrounds your body. Expand the energy out to the size of the room you're in. Expand the energy out to the size of the building you're in. And the energy out to the size of the city block you're on. Expand the energy out to the size of the city you're in. Expand the energy out to the size of the state or province you're in. Expand the energy out to the size of the country you're in. Expand the energy out to the size of the entire planet. Now expand the energy out to the size of the solar system. Expand the energy out to the size of the galaxy. Ooh. Expand the energy out to the size of the universe. Expand the energy out to the size of the universe of universes. Expand the energy all the way out to infinite consciousness. From here, just continue deeply breathing. Energies are raising your vibrations so you can receive the most out of this activation. And so now we're going to activate your infinite love, infinite oneness, infinite presence, and infinite awareness. If you'd like to receive this, say, yes, I will receive this. All right. I'm going to enhance your connection to infinite source in the earth. When you're ready, you can start to deepen the breath. Ah. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Rotate your wrists and ankles. Caress your body. Squeeze your body a little. Stretch out if you'd like. In your own time, you can come back to sitting and open your eyes. Beautiful friend, how you feeling? Take a deep breath in and hold it for a moment. Do that again. Notice what you're experiencing in your body and your energy. Once more. Yeah. And if you give that feeling a word or two, what would it be? Put that down below. Let me know how you're feeling after that. Oh, yeah. So, be the vibration of the love in everything you do and everywhere you go. That's the key. Then your entire reality becomes infinite love. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. May you have amazing times in all of your holiday celebrations and in all of your life, for that matter. Thank you.